We get 23 news, let's go. Damn, stack my 10 to get into that bag. I see you getting posted on a good channel.
And I'm here to ask you one of the biggest questions in the history of the basketball world.
What's going on?
What if Giannis really decides to play for another team later in his career?
Okay, I feel you.
Still got the privilege to watch a
bro. Get off of D-Rose. Dumb. He's trash.
I
don't care about this nigga no more.
Further, what if Shaq and Kobe never split? What if
you can do that?
Didn't retire after his first three-peat? What if we got to see just one more Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird NBA?
That'd be heat, man.
What if this and what if that? But what if I told you all of these what if questions could be answered and more?
How many times?
NBA 2K23, my NBA. This year
bro, they better add some new teams, bro. I don't care about that shit no more.
Breakthrough in NBA 2K23's my NBA mode. Introducing
I need new teams.
NBA eras. In this first ever, I repeat,
need teams, bro.
One of a time mode. You
got to Sherman be busting, yo.
Travel back in time and start your my NBA journey in the 80s,
bro.
90s, and early 2000s.
Damn, that's lit though. I ain't gonna lie.
Traditional modern day era. Now let's use that time machine right quick. You feel me? Let's
damn, this nigga got a game.
Time before even I was born. We talking
about time, bro?
The 80s, or what we like to call the Magic versus
this would look like
era. The
wow, that's lit.
Magic, Showtime, Lakers, and Bird Celtics will be on full display, along with the careers of other players of NBA royalty, such as Kareem,
old as shit, my dog,
Irvin,
old as hell, old as hell.
Goes on and on for so many other iconic players and teams. You'll also see a change in gameplay as teams are taking less threes during this era.
Wow.
In the paint scoring and playing through the big man is more of a focus. Now let's talk about those what ifs again. And one of the craziest ways you could rewrite the history of the NBA as we know it today. In this era, the starting point is the 1983 to 84 NBA season, where you'll have the entire year to get your affairs in order for the upcoming 1984 draft, where you'll have
just one season though
to draft the man on the cover of this year's championship edition, Michael Jordan. If you're into community creations, don't worry. That still stands strong this year with the ability to create custom players, draft classes, and total team revamps. But for my NBA eras, we'll provide you with our year-appropriate draft classes. So don't worry. If you missed out on MJ, I know a 7-footer out of Georgetown by the name of Patrick Ewing that's coming up in the 1985 draft. Let's hop back in that time machine right quick, okay? And travel back to the 90s, a time we like to call the Jordan era. It would be impossible for one of the greatest eras in basketball history to not be displayed and headlined by his airness himself. Michael Jordan. One of my favorite things about my NBA eras is its authenticities to each era's rules. Playing in the Jordan era you feel me? With hand checking legal and hard being even harder.
You serious?
Driving to the paint. In the Jordan
these better not be hand checking in my part though.
The Jordan era starts at the beginning of the 1991 season, right before the run that made MJ the GOAT in a lot of people's eyes. Do you have what it takes to build a team?
Michael Jordan. I mean, he like LeBron, you can tell.
Stop him from going 6 for 6, or do you take control of his legacy?
Oh man, he don't fuck with Pie Sky anymore though.
And try to win 8 straight. Who knows? With the 1992 NBA draft coming up, maybe you find a way to pair MJ with one of the most dominant players in the history of the game.
Who?
Shaquille O'Neal. With all that being said, though, we still not even done yet. Now let's hop back in that time machine one more time.
One more time?
Travel back to a time not so long ago. A time we like to call
the Kobe era? Wow, does he have an era? I didn't know Kobe had an era, I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was Kobe and Shaq era. I didn't know Kobe had an era though.
The Eastern Conference finally crumbling and falling to its knees. The Western Conference took over with teams like Dirk and the Mavs.
Wow, it's crazy.
The Wolves and the dynasty created by Tim Duncan and the Spurs. But what might be the biggest what if of all time? The Kobe and Shaq Lakers. Trying to keep that team together won't be easy, but lucky for you, this era starts in the year 2002 with what might be the greatest draft of all time, the 2003 NBA draft. If you're a savvy enough GM, you can figure out a way to pair Kobe with LeBron, Melo, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, or even Darko if you're feeling risky.
No.
To complete Kobe's legacy and capture 2 more rings in LA and make him the true successor to Michael Jordan's throne. The authenticity of the improved My NBA Eras mode is scary detail. Not only will you see gameplay and rule changes over time to match each NBA era, you will also see team logos, jerseys, arenas, and even location change as you play through each era. So you'll see the Charlotte.
Bro, I hope they bring it to play now too.
Before settling in New Orleans and eventually changing their name to the Pelicans. The Seattle Supersonics becoming the OKC Thunder, as well as the lack of other franchises that didn't exist in a certain era. So if you're a Miami Heat fan, I'm sorry, but you won't see that team until the league expands in 1988. Playing as the San Diego Clippers will really feel like a slice of NBA history. As we watch tons of footage to replicate each NBA arena, sponsor logos around the arena, floors, and thanks to the My Team folks for their huge library of jerseys for their respective time period. And NBA 2K23's My NBA Era's authenticity doesn't even stop there. Authentic and true commentary for each era was a huge deal. The audio team really outdid themselves this year. Historically, they've kept our commentary booth up to date and added new content to our colossal bank of audio lines to keep gameplay as fresh as possible. This year, our current primary commentary booth is Kevin Harlan, Clark Kellogg, and Greg Anthony. However, for the 80s and 90s, we brought in the legendary Mike Fratello, aka the Czar, to help provide a different dynamic to the play-by-play and color commentary, as well as a ton of fun stories from the league during this time period. It would be impossible to go over everything My NBA Eras has to offer. But you know, we love to go over even
as long as we got new teams, bro, I ain't tripping.
Each era has its own period-specific background. We wanted each era to feel and look different inside and outside.
It should look the same.
Finances will grow and change with each era, as well as the G League and social media being added to the mode at its appropriate time. We even got dynamic shorts length, from short shorts in the 80s to long shorts in the 90s, back to a shorter style in the modern era. We also added the change of All-Star Game jerseys, going from players wearing their own team's jerseys until the real-life NBA made the change to team-based jerseys. My NBA Eras was created by basketball fans for basketball fans. We think you're gonna love it. As you can imagine, the majority of our time went into making My NBA Eras what it is. But we also made time to make some improvements to the other My NBA modes that you all enjoy. My WNBA now has an updated playoff
route. Oh, yeah, shit.